Today may be a little challenging because we have very different perspectives of this topic. And that is how we met and how we started talking. And I remember you being in the back of this big auditorium that we used to go to school at. You had your fro, you had your Timbs on, and you had no facial hair. It's just straight baby face.
I had facial hair.
You didn't have
I
you
had
had
fa
like your sideburns, but that was it.
No, I've always had
He
facial
basically,
hair.
if you just flip what's on his beard up to his head, like, that's what it looked like.
That's not true. That's not true. I had facial hair, like little pencil mustache. Remember?
Oh,
And then the
okay,
way
you
I used to
did.
do my facial hair, I used to do like the facial, like the little pencil thing right here. So I had a few different ways. So I would either do like straight, super sharp. Listen, this is how we did it in the 90s and the early 2000s.
90s, you're literally talking about
That's why I
2007,
said and
2008.
I that's why I said in the 2000s
You're
because I
decades
saw
off.
remember I
Decades.
used to got okay, so imagine what like not little Bow Wow, but like Mario, like what we used to look like B2K, right? We had the little fro, little blowout on the side. You pat it
Okay.
down. You'd wear the do rag so that it get all right, and then the facial hair it was super sharp. Yeah,
Okay.
the people. First of all, the
Anyways.
people on Spotify, Apple can't even see us right now. But I had little pencil, little black hair going down my chin right there to a
Uh-huh.
little pencil, little mustache.
Anyways, I remember you saying like, "Yo, what's up, shorty?" Like, we had already met once or twice, but you used to call me shorty, and I turned around and looked at you, and I was like, "Oh, no," or little mama. I don't remember which one it was. So either one, I told you verbatim, "That's such a cute nickname. If you keep calling me that, I might have to marry you."
So I just want to say for the record, that is not the story on how we met.
See?
You've kind of just went, you kind of just went 2, 3 weeks in. The first time we ever met was in the coffee shop.
Yes, I remember the coffee shop, and then I gave you a ride home, you and your friend, and I
I
asked you
feel
a
like,
bunch of
okay,
questions.
that's where the story needs to start because
Ugh.
people are like, Shorty, little mama, oh yeah, you guys already had sparks. No,
We didn't have sparks for a
are we
while.
telling them the story about how we met or what?
Again, I would like to rewind. Today's gonna be a challenging one because we have very different viewpoints of how this story unfolded.
Okay, all right. This is not a viewpoint. Mine is going to be all facts and only facts.
Whatever. Anyways, okay, the very first time I met you was in the coffee shop. Your friend, your roommate asked me to drive you guys home. I was busy yelling and screaming, "Jiggle them
Now let's pause right
keys!"
there. Now I'm gonna insert my perspective. I'm sitting. So for those of you that know me, I'm super introvert, quiet. I'm to myself. Like if you talk to me, I'm gonna talk back to you, but I'm typically not the first one to talk. That just be by nature. Now, for those of you that know me at church, things like that, you say, "Oh, Pierre's so outgoing." Not really true. I just know that I'm called into ministry and I do enjoy serving people. So because of that, I work hard to be outgoing or I work hard to be or to show my extroverted side. And we all have that in us. But by nature, I'm to myself introvert. So I'm sitting there at the little coffee bar there at our Bible college that we went to, that we met in Columbus, Ohio, or Canal Winchester, Ohio.
Ooh, Canal Winchester, I forgot about
Yeah,
it.
I
Canal
told you,
Winchester and Reynoldsburg.
boy, I'm gonna have the actual facts and the
We'll find
so it
out.
was Canal Winchester, Ohio. We're at the Bible college. This was after a day of chapel and things like that. And you said Tim's, and I did not wear Tim's because those were only on dress down days. We wore suits and dresses
That's
all
true.
day long. So I was actually wearing like a three-piece suit. If what I probably may have had is probably like a shirt, tie, a zip up on the bottom, and then a jacket, blazer on the top. Really slim pants, dress pants, argyle
Mhm.
socks, and
Mhm.
little like square toe shoes, dress shoes.
Totally.
There it goes. That making sense? And
Sure.
then with my little pencil glasses, I had like little glasses on and little fro. And I'm sitting there drinking
My
my water.
goodness.
And all of a sudden, I hear all this ruckus in the lobby. Like, hey, what's up? Hey, jiggle them keys. Ba, 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 ba." And
All
I'm
my
just sitting there.
Danity Kane fans, they know, they
And yo,
know.
and I'm just sitting there, just drinking my little water. Mm, just like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody in this room is so loud. They're so annoying. And I feel like they want attention, and I'm not giving it to them.
They want attention. The wild thing is I was doing none of that for
So
you. None of that for
I understand
attention.
that. And now
I was just super comfortable, knew all the people. I was loving life.
so my buddy who's sitting next to me, he hears you and he
I
engages.
hate that so many people are like, "Oh, I thought I heard you." Like that's a common phrase in my life.
So my friend who's my roommate engages in this stampede. Engages. And so now he's like, oh, that's my girl. So he gives a, yo, Danny, what up? That's my girl. Hey, Danny. Hey. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm not even gonna turn around because whoever this is, nope. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're so loud. And all of a sudden, I can hear him say, yo, you got me my homeboy, Pete. You got me my homeboy. And I'm like, oh. So he's like, yo, Pete. So I get off the bar stool and I turn around and there you are. So now you come up to me. Right. And he's like, he pulls you like, yo, Pete, this is my homegirl, Danny Lee. I say, oh, nice to meet you. And of course, Danny Lee's like, hey, what's up? Oh, where you from? Ask me all this. And then all of a sudden, we said bye. She goes back through her stampede. She does her rounds
Stampede.
through the whole lobby, all that stuff. I'm like, nice to meet you. But in my head, I'm thinking like, man, that girl is so loud. Cool. 15, 20 minutes later go by. Me and my homeboy was sitting there and I'm like, yo, how are we going to get back to the crib? Because we didn't have a car. So he's like, yo, actually, my homegirl, Danny Lee, she has a car. I'm gonna go ask her. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just sitting there. He comes back. He's like, yo, she's gonna take us back to the crib. Okay, Danny Lee's over here knocking over the microphone. All right, do you want to continue
Aw,
with
man.
do you need a tech guy? Is it working?
Okay, I'm good.
There you go.
Sorry.
So, he's like, all right, cool. She can give us a ride. So we go out. She's loud. Her keys are loud. Her bag is loud. Her flip flops are loud. Because back then, you used to wear everyone wore high heels, and they would have sandals and
That's
flip
true.
flops so that they can take off the
Because
heels.
our feet would be tired.
Oh, I told you I was gonna have all the facts,
Oh my word.
This
You're just
was-
at the very beginning. This is the first interaction. We got a long way to go.
bruh. How much time do you guys have while
don't
you guys
know.
are
This
watching
is-
this
we're
video?
never gonna
We
make
might have
our
to
goal.
I know this is struggling. We should have talked about this. This might have to be part 1, part 2.
I think so.
So this is the first day we meet. It's January, Canal Winchester, Ohio, 2007. It's cold. There's like snow and slush outside, things like that. So, so there's all that. So we're walking out to her car. She's like, bro, she opens up her trunk because I put my bass guitar or something like that in your trunk. Her trunk, Jesus, Father God,
I literally don't remember.
Father
I don't remember this part.
God, create in her a clean trunk, a clean heart.
Oh man.
So I throw my bass.
Probably looks literally like what my car trunk looks like right now.
Yeah, basically my bass couldn't fit in your trunk right now.
Yeah, it can't because all my hair stuff.
Bro, we put her stuff in it. So she gets in the car. She's talking, blah, 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 oh my God, today, we're talking about, and my friend, he's engaging. I get in the back. Whoa, you guys heard this motorcycle? Okay, you guys know we live in the city, so there's always gonna be noise, sirens and stuff like that. Sometimes we're gonna stop for it, sometimes we're not gonna stop for it. Today was this guy who just drove by our condo, he really wanted to be heard. So we get in Danny Lee's car, guys. And when I tell you, I've prayed so hard in that moment for my life. It was crazy. I prayed so hard for my life. I knew God was coming that day. Bro, she's driving. She's listening to like 50 Cent and Eminem. Like we just came out of church class. Her music is so loud. He's in the front talking. They're like bumping. Yeah. Oh, in the club, listening to Chingy, all this stuff. She's like, yeah, turn it up. She's talking loud. She's driving like a madman. And then I'm in the back seat. She's like, so, Pierre? So, is it Pete? Is it Pierre? Like, Pete, what do you go by? I said, Pete, Pierre, Peter. It does Petey. Pete. And then my boy, he's like, yeah, that's my boy Pete. That's my boy Pete. Yeah, something I say. She's like, okay, so where you from? Florida. All this stuff. Okay, how old are you? 18. Oh, okay. You just did your first semester? Yep. She's just asking me all these questions. How do you like it? I'm like, how do you like the cold? Is it? And I'm just like, it's good. Fine. It's a little chilly. Yeah. And brought me in the club.
One word answers every time. He just would not open up for nothing.
And I remember thinking, I hate her. And that was day 1. That's all I got. That's how we met.
Oh my word. So
is that
that is true.
Is that correct or
that one is correct. That one is correct. And then it progressed. It just became I would need someone to play keys. So then I started asking you to play for me. You'd have to
Yeah.
play piano while I sang for
Right.
like school stuff or whatever. So I would start picking you up. Then we had a spring formal dance, and I told you you were taking me. Not because I had any feelings for you or liked you or whatever, but at that point, I just knew I'd have fun with you.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, by the way, you're taking me to spring formal," because I wasn't interested in anybody else. So I
Yeah.
wasn't like hoping that somebody asked me. Like there was no guys there that I liked, and so I was like, "I just want to go with someone I'm going to have fun with, and it won't feel awkward."
Yeah.
So I'm just
Totally.
going to tell Pierre, like, "Hey, you're taking me to spring formal."
For sure. Well, and obviously, I'm gonna say this right now. You and I give stories very differently
I
because you
do we need
just
to rewind again?
we because you just fast forwarded to April in
Where
20
did you wanna
207.
go?
Well, I'm just
We
saying
don't have all day,
we do
babe.
this is Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and Google, and iHeartRadio, and the Reddit, wherever you wherever else everybody else is.
iHeartRadio. We are on iHeartRadio.
I know that's why I said that, and Desert, and all the other weird ones, and
Random ones of who is
Google,
on there.
and who, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, subscribe. Um, yeah, it was an interesting few months because, from there we'd see each other here and there. Hey, what's up? Small talk here and there, like, and yeah, like we weren't like crushing on each other. I actually had a
Mhm.
girlfriend at the time. My high school girlfriend was still my girlfriend. We were still together, kind of do long distance. We would call after 9 o'clock when the minutes were free, all that stuff. But she was her senior year in high school, my first year in college. So her and I were still long distance. It was hard. Obviously, we're not seeing each
Right.
other, so I'm in college now. And so now I'm at Bible college, where, you see all these girls, you see everyone's dressed to the T. It's Sunday's best every single
Every day.
day.
Every day.
It's Sunday's best every single day. And in Bible college and ministry school, these girls are fighting to get a ring by spring.
It's true. You're literally looking for your partner to go into ministry of what God has called you to do. Who
Yeah.
you gonna build that with, and you're gonna find that man at Bible college.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, it's Bible college. They had all kinds of rules for Bible college students. I have my thoughts towards the rules. It doesn't work. It's, the more rules, people just, people are, still living crazy lives. I mean, people are getting kicked out still. This is Bible
For
college
sure.
ministry. People are hiding and sneaking, things like that. Like there wasn't real accountability. So everybody was dating around, hanging out, things like that. But you and I, we were anytime we were with each other, it was in group settings. I was part of the band, you were part of the worship team and things
Right.
like that. So yeah, like, every on like there'll be some times where Danny Lee had to like lead worship early mornings for prayers. And so she knew that I played keys as well. So she had a car. So she would just pick me up. Like it'd be like once or twice a week or something like that. And
Mhm.
so we'd be in a car together, driving to the Bible college, talking. And it wasn't a long drive. I mean, 10-minute drive. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Super short. And we're just talking here and there. But it was straight just work,
Friend,
class,
yeah.
classroom, worship. What songs do you want to do? Okay, that's kind of cool. Kind of getting to know you. Weren't crushing on me. I wasn't crushing on
Not at
you.
all.
I wasn't even looking at nobody because I had a girlfriend.
Right.
Right. And then fast forward several weeks where, we're doing that more and more, still hanging out in group settings, things like that. And I think it was one night you came over to because we lived off campus.
Yeah.
All of us lived off campus. So I've lived off campus with
Right.
like with my roommates, my cousins, and you came over to like hang out or something like that. I think you was working at Steak and Shake or something random. You brought like milkshakes or something, right? And me and my boys were sword fighting with. Long story, we had these we were fighting like sword fighting, playing around
Mhm.
Bible college students, but Dan Lee was there. She had a good time hanging out. And I think that was a night where you kind of noticed your boy.
It literally changed. I was looking at you, you were being a sword fighter, whatever. Um, and I saw your face differently, like out of nowhere. I saw your face differently and I was like, "Oh, he's actually really handsome."
Yeah.
But even that, it wasn't like, "Oh, I think I like him." It was just like, "Oh my gosh, my friend this whole time. My friend I'm hanging out with and having a blast and just laughing
Yeah.
with all the time. He's actually really cute."
So by this point, it's probably like March or so. So this is like 3 months after we've met. And so there we started getting really like cool with each other, like fun, like having a good
Yeah.
time. That's when I started calling you like little mama.
Yeah.
That was we became playful and just like, what's up, little mama? Stuff like that. Like she wasn't as annoying. Still annoying, but as she wasn't as annoying. And I started calling you little mama, what's up, things like that.
And shorty.
And yeah, and shorty. Yeah, right. Started calling you little mama shorty because you was obviously short and and all that stuff. But the next month, April comes by, and that's where we had like our spring formal, right? It's like the prom for college students. It's like the prom. Everybody's trying to
Yeah.
figure out who they're gonna go with,
Mhm.
things like that. April, it's weird because it's my birthday, but I have a girlfriend still, girlfriend back at home. So I still, again, I wasn't like trying to pursue any girls because I had a girl long distance, and we're just hanging, talking, things like that. And one day, Dan and Lee comes to me and say, "You're gonna take me to spring formal," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pause right there and say." Like, ladies, don't get so upset. Don't be so mad when we say this. But sometimes for guys, it's easier when you just come up to us. It was just like, yeah, cool, fine, yeah, sure. You know
Wait, you don't have the facts.
what?
You literally told me, "I'll get back to you."
Yeah, here's why I was gonna get back to you. And this is where you're
But
gonna
you just said right now, like, you're not doing a good job keeping facts. I said, "Hey, you're gonna take me to spring formal." You said, "I'll think about it. I'll get back to you."
yeah.
But that was because you had a girlfriend at home.
So that's
I had no idea.
yes. And here's why you didn't have an idea. Because we were just friends. They
We were
never
just
came
friends.
up. My girlfriend's long distance.
Right.
She's in high school still, my first year of college. And we were talking and texting all the time.
Sure. And I had no, like, we were literally just friends
There
hanging
was
out.
never a time
It
where,
was like fully platonic.
yeah, there was never time. So that's why I say I'd get back to you because actually, honorable thing, hey, your boy, I
Oh
called my
my word.
girlfriend and was telling her about it.
Mhm.
It was actually my birthday night, April 5th. You guys better mark your freaking calendars, all right?
Oh my
You
word.
mark your
Why so aggressive?
I have birthday issues.
Yeah, that's also another
Yo, that's a
episode.
whole nother episode. I have birthday issues. You guys know I'm gonna say real quick. I share birthdays with my dad. Me and my dad have the same exact birthday. I have his name and all that stuff. And in the Haitian culture, they do not celebrate children's birthdays. So my whole entire life, I never had a birthday, never had a birthday party. And my dad, they threw him banquets and big concerts and big galas. And Dan and Lee, shout out to my wife, first person to ever throw me a birthday party while I was an adult in my 20s. And so because of that, birthdays are a hard topic, but we're going to talk about that because we talked about it in therapy and I still haven't made it through that. But that's
Okay.
okay. That's
That
okay.
was a really far rabbit trail. I need you to just come back to talk
So
about
us. Anyways,
uh-huh.
I was telling my girlfriend that you asked me, and there's a spring formal, and there's a girl. She's just my friend. Her name is Danny Lee. She just wants me to take her. Well, my girlfriend didn't take her right. It got into a big fight, argue, and she broke up with me
It's
on my
crazy.
birthday over the phone. Broke up with me,
Dang.
and it was like that's crazy. So I don't know if I ever told you this. So the next day, I said,
Okay, I'll take you.
"I'll take you. Let's go." And that was April 2007. We went to the spring formal. But here's what's crazy. At that moment, once my girlfriend broke up with me, I'm like, all right, cool. First of all, I'm just turned 19. I just turned 19.
You were
So
a child.
I was a child. So you guys don't come for me. Say, oh my gosh, Pastor Pierre, all this stuff. Relax, chill. All right. I was just, man, these sirens are going off right now. I was just 19. And so for me, what time is it right now? Hold on, we got to see because we also got to go to church tonight. Let's wait for these sirens to finish what they're doing right now. They're hot and heavy right now. It's always when we're recording. There we go. I was just 19. So to me, I'm like, okay, great, free agent. So perfect. Cause I had my eyes on a few girls anyways.
Which was not me,
Yeah, Danny
to be
actually,
clear.
so we're gonna put that in there. I did have my eyes on a few girls now that I was a free agent. And Danny Lee didn't make
We
the
were just
cut
friends.
because we are just friends. But I still said we're gonna still take her. There was another girl that I actually did want to take. We're not gonna mention her name. We're not gonna describe her because I don't know if she listens to our podcast. So
Listen, you'd be surprised who is listening, so we're not gonna go there.
So there was another girl in Bible college that I wanted to take. There was another one too. There was a few of them that I was like, man. But anyways, but Danley and I was cool and we did have a good time.
But anyways,
But anyways, Danley and I was really cool. We did have a good time. So
and
we
we had fun.
and we had fun. We went there and we had a good time. Was that and from there it was a good night. We hung out, we chilled, we didn't do
Yeah,
nothing
we
stupid.
danced,
We
yeah.
didn't do nothing, oh, first kiss or anything like that.
Nothing.
We
It
went
wasn't
out
like that.
like we was with other friends
I had
too.
started to like you a little bit, but, like, nothing
Matter of
crazy.
fact, I drove. I borrowed another
You
girl's
didn't.
car. That was my friend that was there. She was the one that came up to Bible college with me.
Yep.
I borrowed her car to pick you because you're not gonna pick me up on this event this night.
Yeah, you didn't let me do that. You picked me up, but also the friend who introduced us was in the back
He
seat.
is in the back
So
seat too.
it was
We
3
all
of
took a
us.
picture together. But that was one of the first signs of that. Like, trust me, like I'm gonna get us there.
Yeah.
Like I got this. You're not gonna pick me up. I didn't have a car, but I'm like I knew how to get from point A to point B. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have a good time, and that's always been my nature.
And you remember the dress I found at, like, a clearance place, and I had a friend who, like, did some different pinning on the bottom, but then you took the wrap and you made it your tie,
I
and you
did.
had, like, this super fat
I did,
cloth.
and that suit, I got it from Goodwill. Yo, we're gonna post a picture of
Yes.
that first date because that's our first official date,
It
but more
was.
like as friends,
Yeah.
more as friends. And then from there, man, honestly, like we had a good time. It was still that and I'm just gonna put this out right now. This just I'm just gonna say this. I'm a free agent. She's a free agent. So long story, really short. From there, we hung out more and more, and then I don't know when we just started kissing.
Yeah, I don't know when that happened either, but
You
then
just liked kissing though, because I found out that
Pierre?
you don't you don't want me to tell your story? I found out that back then,
No!
Danny Lee
I did kiss a couple
liked kissing
guys.
boys.
Anyways, but then this is when it became okay. So this is when it did become. I was working at Steak and Shake. Shout out to y'all in the Midwest who know what Steak and Shake is. And I would use my milkshakes that I got on the end of my shift because you'd get like a free milkshake at the end of your shift. I would use that and I would get the biggest milkshake, knowing I will never finish it, knowing I don't want to finish it and I couldn't finish it. And then I'd call you on my way home and be like, ugh, I have this giant milkshake that I just won't be able to finish. You want me to bring it by for you? Like, you can just finish it. And you'd be
I was
like,
like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So I hung up with the other girl. No, I'm playing.
you
Or
probably did,
probably
jerk.
did.
That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole. I hung up and I was like, hey, and we'll talk about this a whole nother day because I know people think about that when it comes to dating. I'm like, yo, we weren't dating. We were friends. Like my options are open. So I was talking to a few girls, and I know that's debatable because girls.
Such a double standard
'Cause
because
I
girls
know-
do not function that way.
Yeah,
Girls do not function that way.
yeah, I know you guys don't function that way. You guys just imagine your whole life with the person, and the person is this. Like,
Exactly.
oh snap!
Exactly.
You tried your first name with my last name.
Yep,
What
sure
is
did.
wrong with y'all?
Signed my name a million times.
Okay,
with your
we
last
didn't
name.
do that. We just imagined ourselves with a few of y'all. We're just trying to figure out who's
Who's the best
one.
fit?
Who's the best fit? You know what I mean? And so anyway, she started coming over. She would bring over the milkshake. We would just hang outside, and that had to have been one of the first times. Like we just kissed,
Yeah.
something like that. You know, I don't even know when or how. I don't know if you went in or I went in for
I
the
have
kiss.
no
I
idea.
have no idea. But by this time, it's like May or so, April, May. You know, it was pretty. From that
was
point,
May.
it was pretty quick. You know what I mean? And then we would start hanging out. And I remember one day you had to move. I remember one time one of your homeboys came and he was pissed because your car died in front of our townhouse, and he was angry that you was even hanging out with me.
Yep.
And I remember you were even embarrassed to even let people know that you liked me.
Okay, I thought you were going to
because
talk about when I was dropping all the cuss words
oh,
about that friend who
okay.
was mad I was hanging out
Oh
with you.
yeah, boy,
Because
Danny Lee
I
had a
was mad that he
Danny
is not going
Lee.
to be controlling, so I
Should I
dropped
say
all the bombs.
should I say Danny Lee had a potty mouth or has a potty mouth? How do you want me to set that?
It's a work in progress. The Lord is
Okay,
working on me. And I'm constantly working on it.
good.
But in Bible college, and I was so mad at that friend that I was like, he can't control me. Who does he think he is? And I was dropping a bunch of cuss words. And you said later on, you told me that it was so ugly that I was cussing that like you were like, I'll never call her again.
Oh yeah, I confronted Danny Lee because I was like, I like for you to be talking like that, using language like that, first of all, not cool, not cute, unattractive. And I'm like, I don't even want to talk to you knowing that that's how you talk. I was very upfront, and I had nothing to lose telling you something like that.
Yeah, that's true. And then,
And then from there, like, we just started hanging out more and things like that. But I think from then, since we started kissing privately and stuff like that,
right.
like we in public would be like, hey, what's up? High
Oh,
five,
yeah.
side hug, church hug, and stuff. I remember one time you had to move, so I helped you move,
Yeah.
and my homeboy helped us move too.
Yep.
And Danley made me this uncooked pizza. I'll
I
never
don't like crispy things, y'all, so I didn't overcook the pizza, but
she
apparently I didn't cook
I
it at
came over to
all.
help her move, and because I helped her move, she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make you.
I'm gonna feed you
I got some
guys.
pizza. I'll make you pizza."
It was like a
This
frozen pizza.
this girl puts a pizza in the oven, and like 2 minutes later, she taking it out, and so I'm like,
You're so dramatic. It wasn't
seven
it
minutes
wasn't well
later,
done. Whatever.
it wasn't well done. It wasn't done. You don't even need to use the word well. That mug
Anyways,
wasn't done.
you
Yo,
did help
when
me
you can
move.
see the whole shape of the cheese, like the actual form of the
The
cheese,
shreds of the cheese in the middle of the
and I
pizza.
could pull the cheese and the pepperoni apart very well. That mug ain't
You're
done,
so dramatic.
babe.
Anyways,
That pizza was not done. So, anyways, we're just hanging out. I'm hanging out with her. She makes me this pizza. I had to pray so that I didn't catch like some type of crazy bug or something like that. Anyway, so we're eating this pizza, and my friend, he tells me later on when we went back to the house, he told me, he's like, bro, if I didn't know better, like you guys gave off vibes like you guys are like into each other. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, I mean, yeah, yeah, you never know, bro. You never know. Us boys, like we try to, like, you know what I mean. And
so
I
dumb.
mean, from there, I mean, that was just our relationship for weeks,
It was.
for months. I think we're gonna have to cut this
We're gonna
whole
have to.
episode in half, or we just keep talking
We
and
gotta
just,
go.
yeah. I know we got to go. I don't know why we started recording right now. We literally got to go to church, but it's crazy, man, because I think about that season of us just hanging out, and guys and girls, the difference from what we have. And I think the biggest challenge there was like you had your mind and your eyes on me, and you didn't want anyone to know because
Hmm.
you had gotten out of a bad relationship.
Yeah.
You were in some sticky
Yeah.
situations
I got
that
hurt for
you
sure.
got hurt from people that you trust.
Yep.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. We gotta even talk about if we want to talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then and because of that, the people that you trusted, you weren't ready to tell them that you had feelings towards me. And I was on a different spectrum to where I was like, I don't even know. Cause she's cool, she's cute, but there's some other ones too. I remember I was telling like one of my boys back in Florida, I was sending him pictures of like all the girls that like could be potential ones. Like I had one of you, I had one of the other one, and one of the other girl. I was like, hey, what you think? And I remember him saying like he told me which one he voted towards too. Like we was straight up voting on
You
girls based
guys
off of
are
your
so
pictures.
sick. Men, boys,
Come on,
whatever.
I was
At that point, you're
19.
boys.
Yeah, I
You
was a
boys are
boy.
dumb.
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy. That was wild, man.
It's crazy to think of all of that and then to be sitting here in our home just celebrating 14 years of marriage, 2 kids, and serving at the church together, like doing our podcast, like all the things, all the lives that we've been through together, like we were just
It was
babies.
just babies. I want to do another, let's do another conversation, more like a part two of like how did we how did we become the one?
But how did we know?
Like how did we know? Because we went from that to
Yeah.
here we are 17 years later, in love, still in love, 2 kids later. Sex is better now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Like we're enjoying our lives. We've lived in 6 different states between the two of us.
Yeah.
And there's young couples listening to this like, yo,
How
listening
did
to
they know?
yeah, listening to the top of that story, you're like, how did they get from that to this? So let's do a part two
Okay.
where we just kind of just break it down of like when things started to turn because we remember that story.
We sure
What
do.
happened that summer and what happened that fall.
In those conversations,
Boy, it's a whole
mentors,
nother story.
all
So
that
y'all,
stuff.
hey, listen, make sure you guys subscribe.
Whoa, slow down.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
That's how you say it. You guys know I'm French, so I'll be struggling with these words. Make sure you guys subscribe. Part two is going to be a game changer. I think it's going to open up some eyes. I
Yeah,
think it's going to give you guys really good insight on just how do you know when it's God? Because you've met people, we've all met people, we've all had relationships with people, and sometimes it could be a good relationship, but man, it's different when it's a God relationship. I'm
100%.
telling you, and that's our story. So we're going to jump in on this part two. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe, hit share, hit like, send this to somebody, especially if you feel like you're really growing from these conversations. And honestly, hit us back. Like DM us. We do respond. It is us. It's not some AI robot. It is us
It's
responding back
us.
to you. And hearing from you guys also helps us understand what brings value.
Yeah.
So
We love y'all. Let's dig.